In this video, I'm going to demonstrate using advanced selectors. So before we do that, I just want to talk through the tags that I have set up so that we can demonstrate a few different ways of accessing each of these elements and adding your CSS. I have an H1 followed by two P tags. Notice I have two H2 tags, a UL, and an OL. These are all siblings of one another. Now take a look at the unordered list here. I have three list items inside and a span inside of one of those. And then the OL has three list items as well, but it has a nested list, so an unordered list inside with two list items. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let me just save it before we make any changes or apply any CSS. Right, so this is what you're looking at. And the first change I want to make is to demonstrate the general sibling versus the adjacent sibling. So take a look at H1. H1 is a sibling of a P. H1 is a sibling of this other P. So if I use the general sibling, it's going to add CSS to both of these. However, if I use the adjacent, it will add the CSS to the P tag that immediately follows the H1. So that would only be this one here. Okay, so let's try first the general sibling. And keeping in mind this will affect all siblings that match what we're about to use as criteria. Okay, so the syntax here is going to be H1, and then the tilde, and the P tag. So that means all P tags that are siblings of the H1. And I'm going to go ahead and change the color. And I'm going to just, let's go with blue since that's pretty simple. Okay, and then I'm only going to do that, but take a look at what's going to happen here. Since it's the general sibling, both of these will have the color blue. So save it and take a look. Let's update this. And yes, both of these have the color blue. Now let's try the adjacent sibling. So the adjacent sibling and I'm going to do, again, the H1 here, but the H1 that is immediately followed by a P tag. So it will be only this P tag that immediately follows the H1, right? So affects P tag immediately following the H1. All right, so for this one, let's just change the font weight. That's pretty easy to see. Font weight, and change it to bold. Okay, let me just align this better. Okay, let's take a look at that. Right, and notice that it's only this P tag that is affected. Okay, so that's your general sibling versus adjacent sibling. Now let's try direct child versus descendant. To do this, I want to create those types of relationships. So a direct child could be, let's see, let's look at this P tag. I'm going to add EM around the word fun. And EM, if you recall, will make the word in between this here, fun, it will make it in italics. I'm going to do it here as well. So now what you'll notice is, I'm just going to do it around the word weekend, right? So I have fun, weekend. These are going to appear in italics now. And these are, the EM tags are direct children of the P tag. Now what if you put a span here? This is really annoying. And then, well, let's say I put the span around the whole thing here. Well, this is no longer a direct child of the P tag, right? This EM is no longer a direct child, but it is a descendant because it has the parent span around it. Okay, so that's the relationship you're dealing with here. So let's first do, I'm going to come up to my CSS again, and now I'm going to do direct child only. Direct child means it's going to take effect. So if I put P and then the greater than symbol, I don't know why it does that, it's thinking, okay, and then the EM. So the EM that is a direct child of the paragraph is going to take on whatever CSS I put here. So let's change the font size of these words. Oops, what is happening? Font size, and change the font size to, I don't know, we'll do 24 pixels just so we can see the change. All right. Okay, and you can see here the word weekend is large, right? It didn't change fun, it only changed one. So going back to our code, that is because that EM is a direct child. Now instead, let's do a descendant. And the descendant, so we're going to go ahead with P and EM again. So now what's going to be different about this is that this will affect both EMs. So let me just line this up a little bit better here. So instead of font size, let's do a background. Well, yeah, we can do a font size, right? Take a look at this. What if I did font size 24 pixels, right? So now it should affect both of them because they're both descendants of the P tag. So save this and then go back over and refresh, right? And so now you see that they're both large. Okay, the next thing I want to demonstrate is the nth child, just because, let me see, don't do too much here, and I think that might actually be in section 2.3. Do too much with the nth child, but let's take a look. Yes, it's right here. So this is referred to as a pseudo class selector, but take a look at the syntax. Now I know I talked about hover in another video, but here's nth child. So you want to change the nth child. The element is the parent element's nth child. So like the third, the first, the 10th. Right? So you can change something. You can put a number in here, right, where the n is, or you can put the word even or odd. So take a look at what that might look like. And before I move on, I have a note here. Notice what the syntax is. So you have an element and then colon nth dash child with the number in parentheses where element represents the child element, not the parent. So it's a little bit confusing from that regard. But here, let's play around with our UL. How about we do the third child here. So again, this is nth child. And when you're doing this, you want the tag name, not the parent's name. You want nth dash child, number in parentheses, and let's just change the border. So border, I'm going to do 1 pixel solid black. Okay, and so save that, and so that should affect the third LI there. And notice what's going to happen. Since you're not specifying the parent, that means that it'll be the third one here, and it should be also the third one as part of the OL, shouldn't it? Oh, let's take a look. All right, so I saved. Okay, there it is, the third LI. Right? What if, let's see, we wanted to try that even and odd real quick. Let's just try that one. Probably not the best, right? Odd, because we have more. We have a 1 and a 3. Let's try that. Going back. Okay, so notice that it did, for the LIs, it did the first and the third, the first and the third, and in the case of where you only had 2 LIs, it did the first, right? So that's the nth child.